What causes challenging behaviors? This usually occurs when behaviors become ways for a child to communicate when demands, conditions, or expectations exceed the child's ability or skills to respond to a situation or demand. The child may be unsure or skeptical of being able to realistically meet set expectations, and this is when challenging behaviors may arise. Here's an example that may help you better visualize how this applies. Zoom. Do you remember last March? The start of everyone staying home and going online with distance learning? It was quite a challenge for everyone involved. It was a brand new learning experience and learning how to navigate through Zoom features. With additional supports and one-on-one instruction over time until now, students have learned how to use Zoom and are now almost all able to access their classes. They're much more confident with routine and knowing that they're capable. This is the difference between now and last March, where there was frustration and struggles compared to their current abilities. Here's another example. You may see that your child might be frustrated, upset, angry, or sad. Your child may yell, stomp, go to their room, refuse to do homework or family chores. And you may have the, "this is typical of my child" attitude. But that's not accurate because they're still building their skills and learning about a variety of tools in which they need in order to respond to situations. This may be a method for your child to communicate that they need help with these skills. Allow me to share a few skills that they may need to learn, build tools, and internalize them for life in general. The first one is emotional regulation skills, how I manage my feelings and responses to situations. Secondly, time management skills, which is very important, especially knowing what time I have classes and setting up a visual calendar, being familiar with your schedule, your appointments, and the like. Thirdly, organization skills. Do I have my laptop or iPad ready? Is it charged and set up right? What does my space look like? Do I have paper and a pen and pencil ready? Fourthly, is communication skills. Raising my hand to clarify understanding of a discussion or open communication. There's also stress management skills, which include feeling overwhelmed or feeling like there's too much to do or handle. How do I manage these feelings and cope with the stress? How can I implement self-care? Also, an important skill, technology skills. And with the technology quickly advancing from last March to today, we've learned so much about technology needs, including increased confidence and comfort levels with accessing Zoom. This is an example so you can get an idea of the importance of building skills from experience. Again, once your child builds these skills and internalizes them, they will succeed in life. Now I will expand more on self-regulation skills. Self-regulation skills include a variety of skills that are critical for every one of us, and this includes all children. We have listed 6 different examples for you to get a better idea of what is included. How to identify and express feelings. For example, raising my hand, telling a teacher that I'm feeling frustrated, and I really don't understand the math problem. How do I solve or answer this? Do you mind giving me some help? This is an example of one way of expressing yourself and explaining in detail. Maybe I can explain how I stay focused in class. For example, some students may feel better exercising or doing something before class in order to be able to focus clearly and be more productive with learning. Some students may need tools, such as fidgets, during class time in order to be able to pay attention. Some may raise their hand and say, "I need a 5-minute break," and then go for a drink of water and walk around until they're ready to be attentive and learn. Some students may need support on how to arrive to class on time. They may need reminders like a visual class schedule or setting an alarm alerting them that they have 10 minutes until class starts. Some may need organization prompts to make sure that they have what they need, such as the Zoom link and making sure that's ready to go. And for some, they may need support in asking for help. They may look at you with uncertainty on how to ask and end up holding back. This is not helpful. They need to build the skills to be assertive and ask for help or clarity, or explain that they're feeling behind or overwhelmed or not understanding, so asking for additional support from the teacher. So, being assertive and raising your hand is important. Students who need help with emotional regulation and coping skills are encouraged to use our Counseling Services Department for additional supports. They are more than happy to support you and your child with building these skills and tools to use. Families, parents, and students that ask for support at home are more likely to also be comfortable with asking for support at school. So the communication is there and open for the whole team to work together in order for the child to succeed. Coping skills is critical and have age-appropriate categories. For instance, younger kids in ECE and elementary are not entirely capable of fully expressing themselves and their needs. They're still learning and need support with building those skills. This is why parents, teachers, and student life staff play a large role in providing guidance with recognizing when a child's behavior is beginning to escalate and give tools when needed or provide resources on how to intervene early with coping skills. This requires a full team effort. For older students, from a young age, they'd already built skills and learned which tools works for them and which skills they've built and internalized. They are now able to express which skills they feel work for them and which do not. For that age, we want them to learn how to identify what they're feeling, when feelings are impacting moods or behaviors, and what the connection is between their moods or behaviors, or what the outcomes or any patterns and coping skills that they could use. Coping skills depend on the situation. As mentioned earlier, it could be taking a 5-minute break and getting a drink of water, or journaling to express and share feelings. As students become older, they will be able to identify triggers and how to respond to situations. This is an important lifelong skill. It is also important to work with the teacher for less distractions as possible. Having an open dialogue is key. Communicate what skills work best for you and how your teacher could provide support. As families, parents, and adults in general, modeling how we use our own coping skills and self-care skills is important. Go in detail and explain that some may not work the way it does for others, and that's fine. Everyone has their own personal preferences on which skills are helpful for them personally. These are wonderful ways for your child to learn different strategies and what works best for others. For example, video games in general. Video games can help children feel that they are able to do hard things and are capable of navigating the game and overcoming challenges. Oftentimes with video games, there are levels that you need to navigate and succeed in order to move on to the next one. And that process can be frustrating and brings out struggling emotions. Sometimes you lose, which can also be triggering and lead to anger, but you go back and try again. You keep trying until you make it and win. You know the feeling, right? It's the same idea with this. Video games in general help you as you struggle to navigate and strategize, overcoming a level and moving on to the next one. You are building your skills as you go through this process, which includes problem solving, creativity, and tolerating failures in order to experience success. They are experiencing persistence in order to succeed. Again, this is all about building skills as they learn through video games. This is a critical part of coping skills, how they respond and adapt to situations. The key is to tell yourself, I can do this. Persistence, not giving up, and optimism is a part of coping skills. Now we're going to be expanding on self-regulation skills, specifically academics. For younger age children, they require more of a team effort that includes parents, teachers, and staff collaboration in order to support the child and provide guidance. That way, the child can build and internalize tools as they learn them moving forward. And now I'll go into each skill. Planning skills. This includes time management and how I schedule my commitments and my time, and how I'm able to manage everything as I go about my day. This also includes homework and study habits. Do I know how long I need to complete my tasks and what is needed? Is everything set and organized? Do I know when I plan to complete them? It's important for families to work with the school and ensure that your child knows what they need to do. How is their organization set up? Do they know what they need to do? Or maybe break it down into smaller steps if they're feeling overwhelmed with the task or project. They may feel like it's too much to do all at once. And if that's the case, break it down into smaller steps. Some may feel ready for class, and some may need time to prepare to get ready. For example, parents can check if their laptop or iPad or computer is set up, fully charged and ready to go. Is there a visible clock nearby? For homework, as parents, you can communicate with teachers and the school team by checking in and asking how your child is doing or how your child's progress is going. This is more applicable to younger age children. For older children, you as your child's parent can continue to be supportive of their educational progress by having an open dialogue. Tell them you're checking PowerSchool for grades and progress reports. Communicate with your child. Let your child know that you're there and available if they need you. That way your child can approach you if there's an issue and you can brainstorm together on how to navigate through it. For example, maybe your child has an appointment set up for one-on-one support, and you, as your child's parent, knows that that time frame is not a good one. So your child may be tired and communicate with the school as needed to schedule a time that would work best. Having an open two-way conversation to ensure clarity is extremely beneficial because you know your child best. That way you can help communicate if you know certain time frames are no good for your child. Maybe you notice that your child usually gets hungry and cranky at certain times, so you suggest alternatives such as doing exercises or having a snack before the scheduled meeting. You can support your child by coming up with a variety of solutions that may work in order to succeed in school. This is being proactive. Now we will focus on self-evaluation. This is valuable because it helps you be able to see what is working and what is not. Don't continue with what is not working. If it doesn't work, pause, figure out why it's not working, and do what you can do instead. For the younger aged children, this includes a team effort of parents, teachers, and the school staff to come together to figure out tools and strategies for self-regulation skills. Having an open communication and dialogue with your child help with this process. Check in on what is working and what's not. What do they not like and prefer? Or what are their struggles? And make changes as needed. For older aged children, an open dialogue. Ask them how they're doing, if there are any concerns, or if they have anything to talk about. Be there to provide support. In closing, there is an important tip stated on the PowerPoint, and that is to have an open dialogue with your child. Make sure that you're open and you discuss all the pros and cons and let them know that you're proud of them and that you're in this together. Acknowledge that this is a challenging time and that you're here to support them and recognize their efforts as they navigate through technology and Zoom classes. Their persistence in not giving up and trying their best is amazing. HALT is an acronym that school counselors began teaching CSD staff during staff development, and we've also been teaching students. This acronym is also very applicable for adults. If you think about a baby and why a baby cries, they generally cry for 4 different reasons that stand for HALT. H for hungry, and they may want some milk or a snack. A for angry or anxious. Maybe the diaper is too tight or they're not comfortable with a stranger holding them. L for lonely, oftentimes wanting to be picked up, held, rocked, or played with. And T, tired. Oftentimes children become cranky or have meltdowns when they become tired. HALT also applies for parents, teachers, and any adult. When we have a HALT moment, this is when we need to stop, halt, or pause, and check in with ourselves to see what we need. If it's an H, that means you probably need a snack or a meal or a drink of water. A means we need a break or a distraction to calm down before going back to a task. An L for a hug or a chat with a friend. And T could be quiet time or a nap or going to bed early. Once the HALT moment is figured out, then a self-care moment can be implemented, and then we can refocus. HALT applies to children, teens, and even adults. For example, I notice that when I do not exercise in the mornings, I have a harder time focusing on my work and become more tired during the day. To take care of my halt or tired moments, I make sure that I exercise in the mornings. That way I'm feeling more sharp during the day. Think about how HALT may apply to you and how it may even apply to your family. For example, in many families, a child may be hungry before dinner, and even if they have to wait until dinner, they may have a meltdown. Now, you as a parent feel stressed, trying to get dinner ready, and then trying to help your child with their tantrum. This is so overwhelming. As a parent, if this happens often, then you may want to see if there are certain snacks that your child can eat. And it could be part of their dinner, such as carrot sticks or an apple, so it does not ruin their appetite. And at the same time, provide less stress. Let your child know how you're using self-care to manage your halt moments. For example, a parent who has a child with very low patience and becomes easily annoyed realizes that she needs to be creative when they're standing in a long line. So the parent will say to the child, "Wow, this line is long, and I know it could get frustrating, but the line will not go faster. So, let's play a game, or can you tell me more about the movie you watched last night?" Then you could say, "I enjoy chatting with you, and this helps me feel like this line is moving faster." What do you think? The more we model, the more our children can learn from watching how we manage different halt moments.